Welcome to the Road Trip Project. This little introduction video is going to give you a broad overview of the project that you're going to be working through. It's going to remind you of I'm going to remind you of some of the things we've practiced. We'll go over some parts of the project and the rubric. With that in mind, let's talk. So this is a vacation planning project, and it's divided up in different steps, and we're going to be using this because we want to practice setting up and solving proportions in order to answer some questions. Because we've been working on proportions for a while, and let me remind you that, first of all, the proportion always kind of has this form. It's like one ratio is equal to another ratio. And we've seen this form of a problem in many different circumstances to date. Equivalent fractions, we worked on rates and unit rates. We did proportion equations where we counted the cross product. There was the stick figure selfie two-day project where you had to eventually measure yourself and then scale down the measurements so that it could fit on the paper and the little box you can draw. You were given an image from a piece of art and asked to scale it up. So with this stick figure selfie, you had to scale down, and we used proportions for that to make things fit. In the proportional art sample, you took an image and you actually increased it, both length and width by 2. There was an assignment where we compared similar figures, and we saw that figures are similar if the changes in in all the directions remain the same. That is, the ratio of corresponding sides stay the same. And then we also use similar figures and shadows in order to measure some objects out in the quad that were taller than we could put a meter stick to. So this project gives us a chance to practice proportions again. And the parts of the project are, there's a part where you're planning your trip and mapping it out, where you're finding the distances between different cities, and this is kind of one day's work. There's going to be another day devoted to calculating vehicle costs as well as the fuel requirements for taking your trip. There's another portion that's going to be calculating miles per gallon and writing a brief paragraph about why you chose the particular vehicle you did. And then there's going to be a day devoted for calculating costs for hotels, food, car rentals, and a total cost for the entire trip. These things get expensive. Okay, with that in mind, let us discuss for a moment the rubric. How is this going to be scored? So the rubric that you're given looks like this. Let's first point out that this is worth 20 project points. Remember, project points are worth the same value as test points. So you want to do your best. Make sure you show all your work. And in the middle column here are the different criteria that are being considered for scores. There's 20 points possible. Of the 20 points, 5 points is devoted to neatness and organization. And much of the project is set up for you to neatly place your writing and your calculations. So if you're neat, a lot of the organization set up for you. It shouldn't be difficult in order to capture all these points. But you always want to make sure, can the reader understand and be clear about what you're trying to show without figuring anything out themselves. 5 points is for completeness, and that is getting through all the different parts that we just got through mentioning here. And 10 points is going to be for showing the math. This is a math project. Are proportions correctly written? And are they accurately calculated? You will get to use calculators on this project, so that shouldn't be an issue. But are the proportions solved using algebraic rules? That is the cross product being used? And in this case, it's really going to be the most straightforward way to get to the answers. But you have the calculators in order to do that, and you want to make sure that you've shown the algebraic steps to get to your answers. The rubric is divided up in two sides, so this is what we're expected to do. On the left side, if something doesn't seem quite like it's meeting the expectations for grade level work, well, that'll be noted here. Likewise, if something is above and beyond what's expected, it'll be written on this side. So as you do the work, make sure if you have questions that you write them down, but be sure that you show the math and that you put it in a very neat and orderly fashion, and you should be fine. The videos that come up next will work through different parts of the project, giving examples. I hope this helps, and I know everyone's going to do an awesome job. See you for now. This has been the Road Trip Project Introduction.